All right, ladies and gentlemen, things are moving right along here with this Colecast presentation of HoN Tour Season number 2. Getting into this one just a little bit later right here as the Lions have already gotten all three of their first picks. Lions currently up 1-0 in the series, just one game away from a massive upset. The first team possibly to take a best-of-3 off of stayGreen in close to 7 months. That would be absolutely gigantic, but we'll see if that's going to be a possibility. Right now, I'm already loving the look of their lineup. Let's see how they got to this point and what stayGreen's been trying to do to thwart it. Right now, the first overall ban was Warbeast with Scout Keeper, the Forest, and Lodestone following it up. So both of these teams really respecting the importance of the Suicide Heroes, getting rid of quite a few of them right off the bat. That's going to really make the remaining Suicide Heroes even more valuable. So we'll see which one of those ones might be coming out. With the primary four being banned out here, it kind of leaves heroes like Rally and Magnus that would normally be considered maybe second tier suicides, a Pharaoh up there as well, and elevates them to a higher level. Also puts the possibility for an aggressive tri-lane on the board. When you've already got something like Tempest being first overall picked here by Lions, maybe that aggressive tri-lane trying to shut down not only a short lane solo, but also a Tempest is going to be a possibility for SG. But with the Ophelia pick themselves, it would have to be an aggressive pseudo tri-lane. And how about this? This is not something that you often see. Swindlemelons using a lot of reserve time on the first, just right away. Like, for the third pick right here, used almost all of his reserve time, 67 out of his 80 seconds. Means that he was giving a lot of thought to this one. Normally, somebody that does kind of see what his opponents are going to go for and like a chess master, always 1 or 2 steps ahead, able to counter them pretty dang quickly. But this time, maybe seeing something different going on and is now a little bit fearful. That difference might be Prisoner 945, Engineer, and Tempest. The Wombo combo synergy between these three heroes is gigantic, and we have not even seen the final two. You add a Wretched Hag to that, you had something else, maybe even like a Magnus or a Rally onto that as well. And you are just talking about absolutely absurd amounts of team fight, wombo combo, ganking potential. Lions, a team that does not often like to go for hard farming carries. If they're going to have a carry on their roster, it's going to be something like the Wretched Hag that is able to farm very effectively and still remain a threat throughout the entire fight. You can see Swindlemelons now choosing to ban out the common heroes that Lions likes to run in that short lane solo position. Soul Reaper, Wretched Hag, and even the Corrupted Disciple. Overall, a powerful hero, not one that Lions has shown too much of a predisposition towards, at least recently. But we'll see if they're going to be choosing to go a different route right now. Silhouette is on the board, and this is something that Pee Wee has shown that he's comfortable playing in the past. You've got Monkey King up there. Hell, you've got a Moon Queen that would be all right. But once again, Lions, they're looking for a mid-game advantage type team right here. Fade is on the board. Could be going for the double initiator. Finish up here with something like a Fade and a Rally would be absolutely absurd in terms of just the raw initiation potential. We'll see. Something, actually, the Rally was banned out. I'm talking about those bans, the Wild Soul Rally and Deadwood being banned out here. So addressing both the SG Wild Soul and then, of course, Swindlemelons, Rally, and Deadwood, trying to get rid of some of those initiators. But they already gave up the Pebbles, Ophelia, and Bubbles. So that's a pretty strong core here for SG, getting a solo or a suicide there in Bubbles. And then, of course, getting a strong jungler, really the strongest jungler, perhaps, outside of Tempest in Ophelia. There's MOA coming out for Lions, and they still have not revealed what they're going to be finishing up here with their lineup. How they're going to go about laning this one, because this Master of Arms could be a carry. It could be a farming dual laner. It could be a solo. It could be a support. Not giving any kind of information away. And probably going to be a short laner, most likely. With that being said, there is still a possibility that you could run an aggressive tri-lane, run Tempest in a lane, put Prisoner, Engineer, and Master of Arms together in a lane, and then grab another solo right here. But it's going to be up to Lions. Pyromancer coming out for SG. Interesting that they chose to go with Pyromancer rather than Torture. Normally, Torture finds himself a little bit higher on their priority list, but not going to be focusing on pushing maybe as much. Not going to be focusing on the wombo combo of Tempest, Keeper of the Forest. Instead, going to rely on the more consistent spells of Pyromancer, the higher front-loaded damage, and then, of course, that Blazing Strike to try to get early kills before something like a Defensive Master's Call can go up, perhaps. Now Lions have 25 seconds to make their last pick here as I glance over at chat and I see a preposterous amount of Lions is balanced and all kinds of balanced things. What are you doing, chat? You guys are insane. Pharaoh going to be the final pick here for Lions, so they will in fact pick up their Suicide. And I like Pharaoh because Lions likes Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's a good hero. I don't know if I like it with this lineup. It's pretty good because you're going to be able to get a lot of initiation with this Pharaoh. You're going to be able to lock somebody in and then allow the old ball and chain to come in. I don't know. Maybe I was just hoping for something with a little bit more burst damage potential, something like that Eruption from Magnus, but Pharaoh is going to suit them just fine. Going to be going against a short lane Zephyr, perhaps. I certainly think that's what it's going to be, as SG's final pick was, in fact, the Bird. Going to be an interesting game now with the Bird, just because he does somewhat counter Tempest and Pharaoh, in the sense that you wall yourself in or you Elemental Void the Bird, and you're going to take a ton of damage from either the Typhoon or the Hurricanes or both. You add on top of that it certainly doesn't help that you have a Prisoner 945 against him that's just trying to stay on top of him. So we'll see. If this Bird is able to get off to a good start, I could definitely see stayGreen's lineup doing pretty well in the mid game against this aggressive Lions composition. And one more time, this is going to be a farming Master of Arms now, being played by Pee-wee, the new supposed hard carry player for Lions. Nothing confirmed, not been officially added to the team, still in a tryout phase. I have to say that notching up a win over stayGreen, putting that one on your belt's probably going to look pretty good for your CV when you're saying, all right, guys, am I an official member of the team now? Well, Pee-wee, you just might be. We'll see. Bubble's going to be heading into the bottom lane. He's got one ward and one counter ward on himself. So going to be looking to hopefully block a camp, but he's going to be sorely disappointed when he does see Engineer showing his presence right here, saying, come at me, bro. I got a keg with your name on it. Ever heard of turtle soup? Yeah, that was my mom. She invented it. I make a pretty good one myself. In the keg. Throw some beer in there. No problem. So, Bubble's getting something delivered from the courier. It looked like that was an extra set of regen. I believe another Blightstone. Yes, he's got... am I crazy here? I could be crazy. The courier was coming... Okay, it was the Minor Totem. Never mind. So, has not been stacked any regen then. Instead, it was a double stack of regen onto Zephyr, who's going to be soloing top, going up against Pharaoh. Zephyr already dropping a deep ward of sight over here, trying to see if there was going to be any kind of an aggressive tri-lane, something like that, trying to protect the Bird. But this kind of ward of sight, this is not going to really help in the way that these lanes have played out. Because the way that these lanes have played out is going to be with Pharaoh up here, and Pharaoh's simply not going to be killed by Zephyr and Ophelia without considerable harassment, and probably not in the first 4 minutes of the game, 5 minutes of the game, which is when this ward is going to be expiring. So probably not going to do a whole lot. We'll check for rotation and keep Zephyr safe, but that's about it. Pharaoh, using a nice ward here, is going to block this camp as well as provide vision of both possible ganking paths here from Ophelia. And it will now be an Engineer Prisoner lane against Pebbles Pyro. Pebbles Pyro considered one of the strongest in the game, especially after you get a few levels on this Pebbles. He's got a little bit of stacked regen so that he was able to get his Minor Totems for a level 2 combo. Now it's going to be up to Super KGE. If he can get the hooks, if he can get the old ball and chains correctly and then the shackle follow-ups, he will get kills in this middle lane. But once again, it's going to be about the hook. So we'll keep a close eye on Super KGE in the middle lane, seeing how he's doing. And look how far back Pyromancer and Bubbles are. They're both just a little bit scared of the hook, knowing that the old ball and chain is just so dang powerful. Bubbles taking some damage in the bottom lane. The CS for that matchup appears to be about 8-5 here for Master of Arms versus the 1-1 of Bubbles. Engineer was doing a little bit of zoning down there initially before he did make his way into the middle lane and has now grabbed a 2-minute Invis rune. Tempest going to take the refreshment bottom, so Pyromancer not even going to be afforded that one. There's the old ball and chain. Shackled goes up, and there's the turret. The keg is going to be available. Pebbles is going to need just stalagmites and then hope that the keg does not connect. There's the Dragonfire and now needs the keg. There it is. Going to connect. And the auto attacks are going to go in. Bloodlust kill. Beautifully played by Lions eSportsKlubb. Seal Kid and Super KGE in the middle lane. This is a match made in heaven. These two have probably played this just about as much as any other duo out there. And you saw right there. Hooks from Gauntlet, hooks from Prisoner, hooks from Devourer. Well, Super KGE is a hooker of all flavors, landing it onto Pebbles, and then the perfect placement of the turret and the patience with the keg from Seal Kid was enough to bring home the Bloodlust kill and the early advantage in the middle lane, which is probably the most important lane at this point. KGE going to be delivered his bottle, I would assume, right? Yeah, there it is. Against the bottle, and with that small advantage over Pebbles, now hitting level 3, he's going to be in pretty decent shape. Pharaoh taking a lot of damage up top. There was a gust being burnt there by Zephyr, but Pharaoh just going to go ahead, activate a health potion. He'll be just fine. Does lose a little bit of his life. Now Hellfire going to be going up inside of the tower, and Zephyr could be in some trouble. Going to take a ton of damage, but will survive. Another hook in the middle lane, and Chuck's Prisoner back. There's the Stalagmites with the Dragonfire. Pebble's going to survive, but for how long? Old Ball and Chain is available here. Gives a health potion going to be going the way of Engineer as well as the bottle. He's going to go camp the rune up top, and now Pyromancer could be in a lot of trouble actually. Ball and Chain is available, but not going to use it. Instead, just going to go ahead and bottle up the illusions, activate them. Not going to. Seal Kid will hit the side chop to get a mana potion here momentarily. And then head back to lane line. So far, not a misstep. Level 4 Bubbles in the bottom lanes. Definitely getting levels against Master of Arms. Not double here for MOA. Uh-oh, middle lane. Looks like the old Ball and Chain did go off, but wasn't enough to kill Pebbles. He's going to consume his last Blightstone here in just a moment. And is going to be relatively low on health. Minut's Ophelia was maybe trying to set up a gank, but simply not able to get there. Beautiful Ward of Sight being placed by Yonasim Fan earlier in the game. It says Yonasim Fan, but I kind of feel like that was Seal Kid. Don't know why Jonas would have been in that position. I know that he placed the ward up top. Bubbles having to use the Shell Surf to get out of the bottom lane. His ward's going to be expiring on the pull relatively soon, and then he's not going to get much more, but he is going to get the requisite level 6 to start roaming here pretty soon. MOA just throwing those auto attacks in relentless. Not even using a spell, but just continuing to harass the hell out of Bubbles. He's probably going to go camp the 6-minute rune bottom here in just a moment. There's a lot of bottles in this game. I believe 4 is the count currently, unless Pharaoh has one. She does. That's 5. And Super KGE going to camp the top. Lions getting better rune control here. They're going to get both the refreshment and the Invis up top. Invis probably going to be donated to Engineer, chugged immediately, and then given back to Prisoner 945. Engie going to head into the jungle, try to get some scouting information out here, see if maybe Ophelia might be susceptible to a gank, and does get that information. But unfortunately, Ophelia at full life, now going to be defensive more than anything. No TP is going to be coming the way of top just yet, and Pharaoh needs to get back. Oh, Gust going to miss. There's the wall. Bubby's going to be going up as well. Seal Kid going to spot out Bubbles as well and saying, okay, this is the party up top. They're going for the push. But with this invis behind them, now if there's any kind of support into the top lane, Lions might be able to actually fight this and take a team fight. Nobody's rotating as of just yet, but here comes the TPs. Going to be purchased by Tempest. He's got the mana in just a second. Here, middle lane, Pebbles taking a lot of damage. He's got the Shackled on him. And here comes the mana ring from Tempest. They're going to counter push. Realizing that they were able to defend the top lane even without it. Ball and chain goes out. Grabs Pyromancer. Shackled available in 3 seconds, but instead just going to throw in the auto attacks. But Seal Kid is in some trouble. Got the keg already, and then we'll get the defensive master's call. The turret's there! Wrath the Pharaoh going to be slowing down Bubbles as well. Wall of Bummies is up, and Bubbles is down! Nice kill by Pharaoh. Bottom tower going the way of Lions as well. 4,000 gold and experience lead. Really, both lanes in the bottom and middle going the way of Lions. As did the jungle. Tempest level 7 versus a level 5 Ophelia. SG unable to push the top tower. And of course Pharaoh hitting level 7. Gets a kill right there. All things are coming up Lions eSportsKlubb right now as stayGreen is fighting for their lives and fighting for their streak. More rune control going the way of Lions. Double damage rune going to be bottled up bottom. Most likely by Tempest, although Super KGE could be running down there with his own bottle momentarily. There's the Steam Boots coming out. On the other side, Pyromancer does not have boots yet. Bubbles still working on his. Ophelia choosing to go the Ring of Sorcery first. I don't know if she's already got that in the bank somewhere. There's the Elemental Void. Gonna catch Pebbles in the bottom lane. Ophelia Heal gonna go out, but it's not gonna matter. Down he goes. Pyromancer was just a little bit late. As Prisoner calling for a kill. Middle lane. Limp does fall. And Lions eSportsKlubb up 4-0 in hero kills. They've got a tower down in bottom lane. Might start working on the middle lane now. And Bubbles still, unfortunately, has not hit level 6. SG pretty all in on Zephyr at this point. Who's had a 325 per minute gold per minute start. Is it going to be enough with the Helm of the Black Legion at 8 minutes? I'm not sure. He's certainly going to be an annoying presence, but the pushing power is not going to be early enough because Lions has gotten a good start here. The ganking power is all but non-existent because of Pebbles' bad start, 173 gold per minute. Bubbles barely hitting level 6 here. stayGreen has pretty much nothing going for them. Unless Lions actively pushes into stayGreen's towers and then proceeds to pass out like a narcoleptic, I don't know what stayGreen's actually going to do in this situation. Is that the right word? Narcolepsy? That's when you pass out, like, right? Oh man. There's sometimes when I just say things and then I'm like, wait, is that the right word? And most of the time it's the right word. It's sometimes like, I'll sit there and look at a word for a long time, like tongue. I'll look at it and I'll be like, dude, that's not how tongue is spelled. That looks weird. But it totally is. And so here's the push coming out of Lions. stayGreen has 3 players that are going to be in position with the Ward of Sight down from the back side as well as from the bottom side. Going to be catching all this rotation coming out of stayGreen. And so Lions just going to choose to back up, maybe go for a kill right here. Ophelia playing it kind of crazy. Does rotate away, and this might be the opportunity for a dive now, maybe to get the Pyromancer or the Zephyr. But Lions, they need to be careful as well. This is going to be a dangerous dive with a Bubbles level 6 now, has the kelp field and a TP. Just needs to be careful, but SG finally grabbing a rune. A haste going the way of Pebbles. This is a great ganking rune for him. 4 players from SG up in the top side. I'm surprised Lions are here at all. Yeah, gonna go ahead and retreat. Send Tempest back to farm. Pharaoh and Engineer gonna go ahead and move down the river, probably to try to set up a kill onto Pebbles. And so now look for the old ball and chain into a Wrath of the Pharaoh. That's going to be the combination Lions is looking for. But instead, Pebble's going to move into the bottom lane, realizing that this one's pushing up pretty considerably, and he'll try to get as many of these last hits as he can.
Get back here.
Lions playing this one safe, dodging the bird, knowing that is really the... If there's nothing but the bird is a threat here for Lions. They can fight all 4 other players and not have to worry at all, as long as the bird is not there. As soon as Zephyr is there, Lions will attempt to disengage, I'm pretty sure. They're not going to take a team fight until they have some more requisite items, and probably even a barrier idol, I'm honestly thinking. That's going to be just so key to dealing with Zephyr. We'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Astrolabe coming out of Tempest, and then Super KGE maybe even just rush a barrier idol. But KGE also loves his mobility items. Loves to get nice and tanky himself. All the while, Master of Arms has been farming out the bottom lane. I mentioned in the last series that I'm personally not a huge fan of Master of Arms in a hard carry, short lane solo, and just kind of what he's doing right now, which is passively farming, not really being active, hitting the Master's call when he can. I'm not really that big of a fan. I think that his impact in that kind of a position is not nearly what it could be if he was more active, or if there were another hero in that slot. But at least Pee-wee's getting the farm, 330 gold per minute, and I'm sure he will hit that Master's call when he has the opportunity to. Maybe even TP up into the top lane, try to stop a tier 2 tower push, but already that tower was denied. And Super KGE was buying a Ice Brand. So we've seen this one before. Frozen Light going to be the item of choice for KGE. Lions, I feel like they need to be generating more pressure right now. They've got what they need. And that's going to be the levels, as well as the tanking presence on somebody like this Prisoner. Maybe they're waiting for an Astrolabe here, as, oh, Prisoner getting caught out in the top lane. And Blazing Strike is going to finish him off. So Lions, they're starting to give up this experience lead pretty considerably. There's Bubbles going to go in with the Shell Surf. This tower should drop here. It's going to drop. Whether it gets denied or not is now the decider. There's Zephyr, so they're going to let it get denied. Not a big deal. But I feel like Lions needs to get more aggressive before they allow those Pebbles to get a portal key, and before they allow Zephyr to get even bigger. I don't agree with Master of Arms sitting around and farming. I just don't think this is what they should be doing. They should be grouping up and knocking these towers down. I mentioned that they were scared of Zephyr, that they might not fight until they have a barrier idol. It's clear that KGE is not going for a barrier idol. He's going for an Ice Brand, which I think is it's a fine item. It's going to give him a tanking, slow damage, but it's not going to help you deal with the matter at hand, which is going to be the Pebbles combo and Zephyr. Pharaoh going to be trying to TP on out, and there's the Gust interrupting the TP pretty immediately. There's the support coming up from Pebbles, or excuse me, from Prisoner, but Lions is... they're falling apart here. Letting stayGreen get back into this game. It's just one of those things that happens. You get ahead in a match that you feel like you shouldn't be ahead. As Pyromancer not going to get hooked. Walked by a Ward of Sight right here. You should be careful that if he does again. Whew. But yeah, when you get ahead in a match that you feel like you shouldn't be ahead, you tend to play it so passive and try to make so few mistakes that you're making a mistake by being too passive. And that's kind of what's happening. They're trying to farm with a Master of Arms against this Pebbles and Zephyr. Hell, I mean, even Ophelia, up to 300 gold per minute, level 11 now. Ophelia is being continually aggressive, continually farming out the woods very, very hard. and she's caught up to Tempest when she was at one point 3 or 4 levels behind. I think it was 3. 4 levels would be kind of insane. You're allowing Pebbles to get his money, and so credit to SG for playing this one out very well themselves. By no means getting aggressive. They're just going to go ahead and sit back and farm, take the opportunities where they can. But more than that, I think that Lions needed to get out and do more. Master of Arms has not left the bottom lane this game. There are no towers here, and he's still in the bottom lane. Creep wave's pushed up. If he just goes to the jungle and farms this out again, I'm going to be a little bit upset, because they need to be off doing something. But instead, he's just going to team jungle with Tempest, I guess. Looking for a Shrunken Head himself. 1,600 gold away. If he gets the Shrunken Head and then just keeps farming and they don't fight, I'm legitimately going to be upset. But stayGreen, they are by all means back into this game. They were down quite a bit, but kept their composure, and here they are. Zephyr's got a Mighty Blade himself. Gonna be going the route of a Shrunken Head, I think. Yeah, with an Engineer on the team as well as a Master Pharaoh. Yeah, it's pretty assuredly a Shrunken Head. And it could be a Dawnbringer. It's a possibility, but I think it's going to be... Shrunken needs the magic immunity at this point. You can see right here just the way that Lions wants to play this. They've run an early line of defense. Wards all along the river right here, trying to make sure that stayGreen is not able to get on side of their map. And they took an advantage, and then they just said, okay, we're not going to contest you anymore. We're going to allow you to pick us off, but we're not going to try to pick you guys off. And we're going to farm our side of the map, and you're going to farm your side of the map. And guess what? That happens over time. You close the resource distance when you're both farming the same thing. Like, I don't know. Portal Key coming out from Pebbles now, and he's ready to go. He's looking for somebody. Going to find the Tempest here in about the next 5 seconds. And, yeah, Tempest is not going to die. Don't know. 1,200 gold, aka 2 to 3 minutes here for Master of Arms, trying to clean up and get this Shrunken Head, which is going to be a big deal. You get the Shrunken Head, you can stand in with Zephyr, and you can walk through kelp fields from bubbles and whatnot. It's not as big of a deal on Master of Arms as I think it is on most players, or most heroes, because Master of Arms tends to just kind of be close to begin with, and then forget to activate his Shrunken Head and then die. Like, that's just the way that I see Master of Arms being played a lot. And I don't know. Zephyr finishing up his Shrunken Head first, and now stayGreen going to start a fight at Kongor, knowing, hey, Lions is not forced to fight with us. That means they are not ready, and we are ready. We just got a Portal Key. We just got a Shrunken Head. Got Ophelia with her requisite item. She even just picked up a glowstone. Going to be working towards a Staff of the Masters. No reason that stayGreen should not be ready to fight right now. Helm of the Black Legion going to be delivered to Pharaoh. That's going to be a decent item pickup for him. But what does Prisoner have? Oh, almost had a bird. That's what he almost had. And there's Tempest, going to go for the Glacial Blast right here. Fork Lightning going to be going out as well. There's the charge shot with the auto attacks, but Zephyr hits the Shrunken Head and is going to drop the Typhoon. Prisoner in some trouble. There's a combo on the Engineer in the backfield. Wrath of Pharaoh is going to be used, and here comes Tempest. Going to drop the Meteor and the Elemental Void here in just 1 second. Where is it? Drop the Elemental Void. Doesn't even need it. Hooks back in again. Tempest taking a Blazing Strike and a final auto attack, but it's not going to be enough. Pebble's going to go in. Chucks back one player. That's going to be a Master of Arms that is, in fact, dead. And Stalagmite's going to catch Prisoner as well. Tempest going to go ahead and blink in and die immediately. Lions throwing massively. I've got to say, that was awful. I mean, no flame here, guys, but that was shit. Lions, they had a very, very well played beginning to that team fight, and then they went up the hill. They didn't have any vision up the hill. They picked off Zephyr and then tried to keep going. Tempest got a portal key and then portal keyed in with 10 life. Like literally 10 life. Died. I don't know. That was just, it was pretty poorly played. No Tempest ultimate. Felt that he wasn't going to be able to get it off or wasn't going to be able to get it off sufficiently to warrant the cooldown. But damn, Tempest ult something. Could have ulted the Zephyr there pretty early on in the fight. Could have ulted the Pebbles when he was off to his side by himself. I don't know. stayGreen with a pretty serious lead now in terms of gold at least. And Lions, they can definitely recover from this lead. They have the team with which to do it, but they need to play their game. And right now they're not. They had 4 hero kills at like 6 minutes into this game. They've gotten 1 in the past 18 minutes. That is not Lions. Lions started off this game playing their game, and then they've done something else. I have no clue what they've done at this point. They've lost the game. They're throwing the game. They're trying to play a strategy that is not theirs, and it's losing them. It's losing the game for them. So, gotta stick with their high aggression.
Get back here.
But they're going to probably fall into the trap that so many teams do, where they lose the momentum and then they sit back forever and allow the other team to expand on that resource lead and even more solidify the momentum. There's an Abyssal Skull on Ophelia. She's still got that glowstone as well. Minot's farm is pretty out of control for an Ophelia. 373 gold per minute. stayGreen on the other side of things, they are looking very good. Pebbles going for the mobility. Portal key plus the push stick combination. Bubbles still looking for some kind of mobility item himself. The struggle on Limp has been pretty severe. Zephyr looking for something himself. He's got 1,400 gold. Probably going to see... I don't know. Could see a Soul's Bulwark coming out on Zephyr. Other than that, could be that Dawnbringer. I think it's actually going to be a Soul's. It's possible that he'll get a Barry Auto, but I don't think so, just because he's their number 1 right now, just trying to carry them, essentially. So he needs some kind of damage, some kind of mobility, etc. The raw defensive potential of a Barry Auto, I don't think so. Double damage Pebble starting to work on Concord. Minion's going to get on in there, needs to pull one back. Well, there's a Pharaoh Rocket. Going to go ahead and scout things out. Lions choosing not to rotate, at least as of just yet. Tempest maybe starting to get into position. They're just going to let this Concord go. Not going to be able to take any towers for it, but not feeling confident to take a fight. Free Concord. Pyromancers are bound to eye as well, so going to be looking to do a lot of counter warding here in the next couple of minutes. Eliminating that map control even more, and this is the stage where SG just kind of plays it better than everybody else. And that like 10 to 30 minute mark is SG's prime time. As Master's Call, offensive Master's Call going to be used. There's a Shackled going out onto Ophelia. Prisoner going to be taking a lot of damage. Bubbles comes in with the Shell Surf Song to the Sea. Prisoner going to get the prison break off. There's the Weedfield coming out. And Ophelia will drop. Is Prisoner going to survive? He is for now. And Elemental Void going to be a little bit late there by Hanskin. They do get the picks on both Pyromancer and Ophelia. They probably should have gotten that pick onto Pebbles, but the timing was bad from Tempest. Now that Elemental Void cooldown is down, SG might try to look and force a fight, but I think more than likely both teams are going to sit back and farm some more. Seems reasonable. Now this is big. The Shrunken Head pickup here on Tempest is going to allow him to get into the middle of team fights and ult without fear of Bevel's combo, without fear of a Kelpfield breaking it, without fear of the ridiculous damage that is Zephyr's Typhoon. Now, he still has to worry about something like a Skeleton King interrupting that, but the damage is what he was really concerned about, and probably the main reason why he was really hesitant to go and use that ult in the middle team fight. Prisoner going to be getting out of there with his Frozen Light, trying to take it into the bottom lane, but SG, they're very well aware that the Elemental Void was used and did absolutely nothing. There's the Glacial... Oh, he's stunned to creep. There's the Wrath of the Pharaoh going to be going off, but a nice push stick away from the old ball and chain. Keg is going to miss. It's time to get back, Lions. You missed 4 spells, like it's time to get back. And, I don't know, Hanskin feeling the nerves right now. That's 2 kills that should have been on Pebbles. And both of them just mistakes from Hanskin, the captain, under some pressure. And not feeling it. Lions is not going to actually contest the bottom tower anymore. They're instead going to move into the middle lane. But Tempest is actually so low on mana, I'm not sure how much they can commit to this push in a subsequent team fight. They will trade a tier 2 for tier 1. But Pebbles is in position. Going to be looking for a jump. There's going to be TPs coming in. 1 to the base right there. That's a portal key on Bubbles. He's got the Kelp Field available. Tower is going to go down. And Lions will back straight on up into the jungle. Need to be careful that they don't linger too long in this jungle, though. Where's Engie going? Town, I guess. Interesting choice. And SG going to be moving up the middle lane now. Going on in, and Tempest has the ultimate up in 5 seconds with that Shrunken Head. Shrunken Head has been revealed. Barbed armor as well as a shield breaker are up. And now it's about the initiation. Who's going to get it first? Pebble's going to be going in right here. There's Tempest. 3-man Elemental Void. Full Elemental Void. Prison Break going to be going off. And there's the energy field as well. Zephyr activating the Shrunken Head. Going to be dropping the Typhoon inside of the wall. Mummies, though. Nobody's dead as of just yet. Prisoner is going to be the first one to drop here. Pharaoh in some trouble as well. Tempest going to be going down. And I think that might well do it right here. Pebble's going to be going in. Combo drops the 4th player from Lions. There's the Gust pulling Master of Arms back in. And that was what Lions needed probably 8 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago. Was Elemental Void like that. Back when they had level advantage, numbers advantage. But unfortunately at this point I think it's just a little bit too far gone. Master of Arms not pumping out the damage necessary to bring down these heroes that seem nigh unkillable. There's going to be that Meteor going down, starting to tick Zephyr pretty hard. Probably going to lose this Rax. And it certainly would seem that way. Charge Shot going out onto Pebbles. Glacial Blast going to be the follow-up here in a second. Glacial Blast is going to be going on to Ophelia, so they will grab Ophelia at least. And defend the Rax. So, okay, maybe this game is not over just yet. stayGreen, they know that the Elemental Void is on cooldown, however. They're not going to relent with this pressure. The Dawnbringer going to be coming up on Zephyr very soon here, about 500 gold away from that one. And
get back here.
Not quite sure. Oh, sorry about that there for 1 second, guys. So stayGreen looking very good. They managed to get a nice initiation off. Even though they were hit by that 3-man Elemental Void, they kept their composure. They got the Typhoon off from Zephyr. It was kind of awkward. I couldn't tell exactly what the interaction was. There was an Elemental Void, and I think a push stick from... It must have been Pebbles. Somehow pushing himself out of the Elemental Void. I think the Wall of Mummies might have actually pulled him out of the Elemental Void, but here's what I'm talking about. stayGreen knows that the Elemental Void's on cooldown. That's the only real thing they have to worry about. 15 seconds now until it's back up, but the melee racks are done. What the hell? Prisoner applying the shackle onto a creep, I guess. But melee racks are down. SG says our work here is done. Wrath of the Pharaoh not going to connect. If he had ulted, I think it would actually hit that Undead Warrior, which would have been... No, never mind. Sorry, that's a neutral creep. That would have been funny, though. You ult and there's just a random creep walking around. It's like... Chololololololololololol. Oh, man. So Lion's going to continue to stick this one out. What are they going to do? What do they have going for them? They have Master of Arms. It's hitting for 220 damage now. So if he gets a few good pokes in on somebody, especially if they're inside of that acid goo, they might die. Prisoner, unfortunately, it's 32 minutes in. And here's my gripe with the Frozen Light on Prisoner. You've already got the bottle and a power supply for your mana regen. I mean, you're going to get more from Lightbrand so you can spam your spells constantly. The Frozen Light, outside of that, what is it doing for you? It's 4,400 gold that is really amplifying your basic auto attacks. How many basic autos are you throwing out in a team fight? Not that many. Not that many. You're not in a ganking position right now. So essentially you're working with Steam Boots, Mystic Vestments, Power Supply Bottle, the same items that Prisoner had 10 minutes into this game. It's been 22 minutes without an effective item pickup here on Prisoner. Now, if he had snowballed and gotten into a Dawnbringer, I sure as hell would be singing a different tune, but I wasn't a fan of this pickup at the beginning. I advocated for something like Barrier Idol. I mean, even that, probably not the perfect pickup, but maybe just something that's going to be able to allow Prisoner to do something a little bit more than a Frozen Light. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. And so Prisoner has not had the biggest impact since about 3 minutes into the game. In fact, I don't know when the last assist was here for Super KGE. I can almost guarantee you that he has not had one in the last 15 minutes. The Hellborn team going to be moving on up now. The defensive tower is being sieged out. Bubble's going to have to back up and take cover from this one, but the Lions... They'll go for one final effort right here. You win this fight, you stay. You lose this fight, you go home, and you go to game number 3. SG saying, okay, we don't need to go ahead and take that risk, because there was a risk. There's a possibility that they get a really good Elemental Void, and everything goes south for us, and we are back at an even game. But we don't want to go ahead and take that risk. We're just going to fall back, wait for Kongor. That's going to be back up here in about another 2 minutes, and that's going to be pretty dang big. You know what else is going to be pretty dang big? 370 gold from now, Ophelia is going to have a Staff of the Masters. That's pretty decent. Not an item that we see too often on Ophelia because it does require so much farm. The item buildup is kind of unique, and it's just not something that we get to see too often. But it is a gigantic item. Lowering the cooldown on the ultimate to 30 seconds from 120 means that you're going to be getting off, what, 4 times the ultimates? Wow, that's easy math. 4 times the ultimates. They say never do math on stream, but, you know, I'm just a rebel like that. stayGreen looking to deflect in the middle lane. And maybe even to parry and counter. Making their way to Kongor as both teams are doing a little bit of ring around the rosy. There's still a bound eye, on Pyromancer. He's got the activation on it up in 10 seconds, so he'll probably do a full sweep along this axis. Just kidding. They're going to move up the middle lane. No, Lions is looking like they want to go right now. Pharaoh's going to try to get a hook in. Nope. There's going to be the Shell Surf, and Pebbles gets the combo onto Engineer. Angie is going to get the defensive best call. Gets the energy field up. Pebbles is in a lot of trouble right here. The acid bomb, but he gets pushed on over. Prisoner going to go down first. And here's Tempest. No Elemental Void as of just yet. The Typhoon has gone off. Tempest with the Shrunken Head expiring momentarily. Gusted back into the Typhoon. In some trouble. Fork Lightning from Master of Arms just before he goes down. Dragonfire going to be missing. There's the combo. And down goes the 4th Lion. And just a couple lines short of forming Voltron in this one. stayGreen takes game number 2. That means we're going to game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 was Lions 100%. Game number 2, they had a pretty big advantage, 4,000 gold and experience and all the momentum by about 8 or 9 minutes into the game. But unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on that lead. stayGreen played phenomenally from that point forward, not only farming effectively, but making sure that they were able to get picks whenever possible. Lions, unsure about how to progress from that situation, chose to just keep on farming, and unfortunately, it did not pay off for them. We'll see what their strategy is going to be in game number 3. But that's what we got coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. This is Colecast coverage of HoN Tour Season number 2, Cycle number 3. We got a Diamond Division Winners Bracket semifinals right now. One of these two teams is going to punch their ticket to the Winners Bracket finals and the top 3, the big money. In the next game, find out who. We'll be right back.